Dawn of Sorrow is my favorite of the DS Castlevania trilogy, but I'll tell you what, it's a gosh dang farming game. Unlike an Aria of Sorrow, you're expected to grind here. There aren't many strong weapons lying around, and the quality of the souls you'll harvest is very inconsistent. Some are great right away, some are great if you collect a whole bunch of them, and some are pretty useless. So this video is going to be a guide on what's actually worth farming as you make your way through Dawn of Sorrow, from start to finish. Full disclosure before we dive into things, luck does not work. It doesn't help on normal mode, it doesn't help on hard mode, and basically all of the drop rates you find online are wrong. The effect of luck is so minuscule, it's honestly more accurate to say that it does nothing. The only exception to this is the Soul Eater ring, which doubles the base drop rate for enemy souls. So keep the ring, and don't worry about any other luck boosting gear. The axe is a classic Castlevania sub-weapon, and it's definitely worth picking up in Dawn. Good damage, good attack angle, multi-hits, and a low MP cost. This is a required soul for the true ending, so I'd recommend making this your first farm. You can get one before Flying Armor or Balor for easier boss fights, or you can wait until a bit later for a faster farm here. Manticore is a pretty useful blue soul you can get before Balor for some extra damage. The real value though is how you can use this and an Axe Armor soul to synthesize a Bouge axe very early. Bouge is an incredibly powerful overhead weapon that stays viable even through the late game. You can farm 2 Manticores if you want both the Bouge and the Manticore tail, but definitely get at least one. With the Slaughterer soul equipped, Soma attacks with a pitiful looking punch that has absolutely no range and can't be used in the air. But if you manage to land a hit, it deals amazing damage. It's cheap on MP and easy to spam with backdash cancels. By the way, if you're looking to farm money or synthesize a good speedy weapon, you might want to consider getting multiple Slaughterers. It won't power up the soul, but what you can do is buy a Brass Knuckle, upgrade that to a Cestus with a zombie soul, and upgrade that to a Whip Knuckle using Slaughterer. Whip Knuckle sells for $8,500, and Cestus sells for $3,000, so every extra Slaughterer is worth $5,500. Whip Knuckle is also a great weapon choice if you prefer a rapid attack style, so good it's even used in certain Dawn speedruns. Mandragora is another fantastic early game red. It has excellent reach, deals great damage, and only costs 30 MP to use. I'd consider getting Mandragora as soon as you first enter the garden. If you're looking for a top tier red soul that's easy to get, Guillotiner is an excellent choice. It's available once you reach the chapel, and is one of the strongest, most MP efficient options in the game. What's really nice is the drop rates, around 6% per kill, which is very high by Dawn standards. Now, if you want a red soul that's potentially even stronger than Guillotiner or Mandragora, but is much trickier to use, might I recommend a little soccer? A lot of people don't know this, but Yorick gets a 10 times damage multiplier when Soma kicks the skull versus just throwing it. This multiplier applies both to slides on the ground and dive kicks in the air. This soul has probably the highest skill ceiling in the game, but if you get proficient at playing soccer, this thing can straight up win the game for you. Here it is, the best soul in the game, Devil. It's a blue soul that, when activated, greatly, I mean greatly, boosts damage to all physical attacks. Devil drains about 20 HP per second, but crucially, it cannot kill you. Meaning all you have to do to keep the boost indefinitely is dodge. Devil is so good that it makes no weapon a viable weapon. Do yourself a favor, get this soul immediately. You can farm a Lilith soul in the Demon Guest House for a small intelligence buff, but what I'd actually recommend is returning after you find the Durandal. Durandal plus Lilith will synthesize a Dainsleif, which is a quality greatsword that provides a +6 int boost while equipped. For that reason alone, it's one of my personal favorite weapons. I have a theory. I believe that Malakota is specifically designed for the final boss. This is the best red soul in the whole game. It's unbelievably powerful, has outstanding range, hits behind and in front of Soma, auto-cancels on landing, and costs only 15 MP? A lot of people complain about Menace and how the spawns are tough to deal with, but Malakota is the absolute perfect answer. It does a great job at crowd control. Only downside, it shows up in the final area. Still, this one's definitely worth your time. To wrap up the video, I've got a few quick bullet points to go through. Number 1, remember to farm Ukobak and Killer Clown, as they're also required for the true ending. Number 2, Aranis is another top-tier red soul worth considering, since it's Holy Element and it multi-hits. At 45 MP, it's a little expensive though, and the drop rate is only 1.5%. Number 3, to get Soma's fastest form of movement, you'll have to farm the Black Panther enemies that appear after Abaddon. Thankfully, the drop rate is 1 in 8, so it shouldn't take too long. Number 4, if you're going for all souls or want to level grind, get the Imp Soul ASAP. It works by swapping enemy HP and MP, and a lot of enemies die in one hit while Imp is active. Number 5. Katanas are probably the best weapon type overall in Dawn of Sorrow, but I haven't talked about them yet for a simple reason. You can just buy a Masamune, which is a perfectly good mid-tier katana, after you get Mina's talisman from Arikado. You can upgrade it a few more times if you want, but honestly, combine the Masamune with Devil and you'll be set. Thank you for watching, I hope this guide was helpful, and very best of luck. This is Dawn of Sorrow we're talking about, so you'll need it.